Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth video lecture on Materials Science and Metallurgy video lecture series. In this video lecture, we are going to learn about metallic bond. This metallic bond concept was introduced by this Paul Rudd, depending on the properties shown by those metals in early 90s. In order to understand this metallic bond, let me ask you some questions. From that you can easily understand what is metallic bond, what is the reason for all atoms present in the metal to held together. Let us start. Suppose if I give you a compound like Na2O, and if I ask you the question that what type of bond present in it. So if I give you a compound Na2O, and if I ask you what type of bond is present in this Na2O, that is sodium oxide, then you will generally think about the reason. That means how did this compound formed, and how did this octet configuration concept was satisfied. Generally, we will think that since this is the sodium, its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. This sodium atom always wants to give away its 3s1 electron. Here how many sodium atoms are present? 2 sodium atoms. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. This is the second sodium atom. Again this also wants to give away its s electron, so that they will gain the stable octet configuration. So here oxygen. What is the electronic configuration of oxygen? That is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So it needs 2 electrons to gain 2s2, 2p6 configuration. So this oxygen is ready to take these 2 electrons, and finally what you will get? You will get Na plus, Na plus and O minus 2. So finally Na plus is having positive charge and O is having negative charge. Like that these opposite charges will attract each other and they will form a compound. So you can easily say that it is having ionic bond. So here what we are saying is every atom is trying to gain octet configuration so that the bond is formed. Is that clear? Suppose if I give you another compound like NH3, then again if I ask you the same question, what type of bond is present in NH3 molecule, then we will write the electronic configuration like this. For this nitrogen, its atomic number is 7, so its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1. This is the electronic configuration of nitrogen. If you see here, it is having 2s2 configuration, but it is having only 2p3 configuration. So it needs 3 more electrons to get a octet configuration. So nitrogen is in need of electrons. Suppose if you take this hydrogen, its atomic number is 1, so its electronic configuration is 1s1. Suppose if this hydrogen gets 1 electron, automatically what happened? This configuration will become 1s2 configuration, which is the configuration of helium. So this hydrogen is also in need of electrons. Suppose if you add 3 hydrogen atoms to this nitrogen, what will happen? This nitrogen is ready to make bonds with hydrogens. These two electrons are these 2s2 electrons, and 2px1, 2py, and 2pz1 electrons are these. That means these are unpaired electrons of nitrogen. Now what happens? This hydrogen atom will come here. This is hydrogen atom. It will come here and it will put its 1s1 electron, and you will get a bond between these two. Again another hydrogen atom will come and it will put its 1s1 electron, and there will be a bond between these two. And other hydrogen atom will come and there will be a bond between these two. Now count number of electrons around this nitrogen atom. How many electrons are there? It is having 2 electrons here, and 2 electrons in this bond, 2 electrons in this bond, 2 electrons in this bond. Totally it will gain 8 electrons. This nitrogen will gain 8 electrons. So again octet configuration was satisfied. So in order to explain bonds in many molecules, we generally depend on this octet configuration concept. But there are some elements or metals which are not able to satisfy this octet configuration. Let me show you a metal first. See what is this metal? Yes, this metal is sodium metal. That means this total material contains sodium atoms only, no other atom. There is no oxygen, there is no chlorine, nothing is there. It is pure sodium metal. This is very soft metal, even you can cut it with a knife. Generally this metal is stored under kerosene. Why? Because it can readily react with air and will form sodium oxide. So let us come to the topic. If you take any sodium metal, how could you explain the bond present in that sodium metal? That means each atom present in this sodium metal is having same type of electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. Then how could one sodium metal will bond with other sodium metal? That means whatever may be the path, this sodium metal will not gain octet configuration. Why? Because it is having only 3s1 electron. It always wants to give away its electron. Suppose if you take this first sodium metal, let us take that this is the first sodium metal. It wants to give away the electron, that is 3s1 electron. Then this second sodium atom is not ready to take that electron, because this sodium atom also wants to give away its 3s1 electron. So no sodium atom is willing to take electrons. Suppose in order to form any ionic bond, one atom has to give away its electrons and other atom must be ready to take those electrons. Here all are sodium atoms, so all sodium atoms are ready to give away their electrons, but there is no chlorine, there is no oxygen to take those electrons. So there is no possibility for ionic bond. Suppose if you come to a concept that we can explain the bond between these sodium atoms by covalent bond, it is also not possible. Why? Because if one sodium atom is bonded to other sodium atom, then what will happen? Its electronic configuration will become 3s2 and there is no 3p6. Its electronic configuration will become 3s2 and there is no 3p6. So you cannot get any octet configuration between these two sodium atoms. Then how could you explain the bonding present between sodium atoms in a metallic state? Okay, then to explain this one, sea of electrons theory was proposed by that Drude scientist. See here, sea of electrons theory. By using this sea of electrons theory, we are able to explain the bonds present in metals without taking the octet configuration concept. Suppose if I take this sodium atom, this is the sodium atom, and this is another sodium atom, and again this is other sodium atom, and this is other sodium atom, and this is another sodium atom, this is other sodium atom, and like that the metal contains many number of sodium atoms. Let us think that all these are sodium atoms present in the metal. And again this is sodium, this is a sodium, and finally this is also sodium. These sodium atoms, what will they do? They are having 3s1 electron. So they will give away that electron outside. That means this sodium atom will lose its one electron to a band called valence band. As a result, this sodium atom will gain positive charge. Similarly, this sodium atom also loosens its 3s1 electron or gives away its 3s1 electron to a band called valence band. Then again this sodium will get a positive charge. Similarly, all sodium atoms give away their electrons to valence band. So like this sodium atom will give away its electron, and this sodium atom will give away its electron, this will give away its electron and will gain positive charge, and again positive charge, electron, electron, positive charge, electron, positive charge, electron, positive charge, electron, positive charge, and this is the electron of this sodium atom, and this is the electron of this sodium atom, and again positive charge, this is the electron of this sodium atom, and this is the electron of this sodium atom. These electrons are free to move from one atom to other atom. So that means the electrons which came out of from all sodium atoms are ready and free to move from one place to another place. So as a result, you will get an electron cloud. That means I am writing all these electrons at one place as an electron cloud. That means this cloud contains negative charge. Why? Because why I am saying that this is negative charge? Because it contains all electrons. So now you got negative charge, which you call it as electron cloud. Now in this electron cloud, there are positively charged metal ions. This metal ion is positively charged. This metal ion is positively charged. So all metal ions are positively charged and they are present at fixed positions. Suppose if this sodium ion wants to come out, it is not possible because this electron cloud will attract this sodium ion and will restrict the motion of this sodium ion. So you cannot take Na plus ion from this metal. Why? Because this negatively charged electron cloud is attracting this Na plus ion. Suppose if any electron wants to come out, it cannot come out. Why? Because this electron is attracted by all positive charges present in the material. That means if this electron, since it is free, if it wants to come out, then it is also not possible. Why? Because all metal ions are positively charged. These positively charged metal ions will attract the electron and will not allow this electron to come out. So there is an attractive force. Okay, what is the attractive force? All metal ions present in the metal are attracted to this negatively charged electron cloud. As a result, there is a strong bond formed between all atoms present in the metal. That bond is called as metallic bond. Did you understand? Now I will ask you a simple question. As a whole, if you take this total metal, if you take this total metal, what is the charge of this total metal? What is the final charge of this metal? The final charge is 0, because all sodium atoms lost their electrons. As a result, they gained positive charge, but the magnitude of positive charge and the magnitude of electron cloud both are same. That means, let us count a number of sodium ions present in this metal. There are total number of 16 Na plus ions. Whereas if you count number of electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, if you count all the electrons, you will get 16 electrons. So 16 positive charges are balanced by 16 negative charges. Therefore, as a whole, the final charge on any metal is 0. That means metals are electrically neutral. Suppose if I have taken magnesium metal, its atomic number is 12 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s2. Now you can expect what type of bond is present in magnesium metal. No doubt at all, it also contains a metallic bond. Then how could you explain the metallic bond present in this magnesium? Let me take the magnesium metal structure. This is magnesium atom. This is another magnesium atom. This is another magnesium atom. And this is other magnesium atom. Okay. And again, this is magnesium atom. Magnesium. 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 Magnesium and magnesium. Suppose if you come to the electronic configuration of this magnesium, it has to lose its 2 electrons. So from one magnesium atom, you will gain 2 electrons. So its charge will become +2. And again 2 electrons from this magnesium. And again +2. 2 electrons from this magnesium and again +2. 2 electrons from this magnesium and again +2, like that. All magnesium atoms will give away their 2 electrons present in the 3s orbital. So as a result, all magnesium atoms present in the metal will gain +2 charge. So here +2, +2, +2. So finally what happened? Again here also the electron cloud was formed. Let us take that this is the electron cloud formed in this magnesium metal. Why I am writing like a cloud? Because the position of electrons is not fixed here, because all electrons come out to valence band and they are freely moving around all magnesium ions present in the metal. So this is the electron cloud. Okay. So now what happened? This electron cloud is having negative charge, and this negative charge is going to attract all positively charged metal ions. So a metallic bond is formed in magnesium metal also. Now I will ask you a simple question. Which bond is strong? Whether the metallic bond present in sodium is strong or magnesium is strong? Which one is strong? So no doubt at all, the metallic bond present in magnesium is stronger than the metallic bond present in sodium atom. Why? Because if you come to this electron cloud, this electron cloud contains more negative charge. Suppose if you come to this place, it is having 16 atoms. For 16 atoms, it is giving 16 electrons negative charge. Suppose here if you come, count the number of atoms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means in this magnesium metal there are only 12 magnesium atoms. Though it is having 12 magnesium atoms, it gave 24 electrons. So now the power of this electron cloud is more when compared with the power of that electron cloud present in sodium metal. So automatically this will attract these magnesium ions with greater force. So magnesium metallic bond is more strong than Na. So that's why the melting point of this sodium is nearly 97 degrees centigrade, whereas the melting point of this magnesium metal is nearly 657 degrees centigrade. Did you understand? So, if the electron cloud is having more number of electrons in a metal, then automatically that metal is able to hold the metal ions with greater force. As a result, generally they are having higher melting point. Okay, and again you can answer it in a different way also. This magnesium is having plus 12 protons in its nucleus. Whereas if you come to the sodium metal, it is having 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 configuration or 3s1. It will also give away its 3s1 electron. Now this sodium atom is having plus 11 protons in its nucleus. So both are gaining the same electronic configuration by losing electrons. It will also gain 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 electronic configuration. This will also gain 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 electrons. So in case of magnesium, with this plus 12 proton charge, it will attract all the electrons, that means N1s2, 2s2, 2p6 electrons with a greater force towards the nucleus. As a result, the magnesium atom size is a little bit smaller. Why? Because that nucleus attracted all electrons and it pulled those electrons towards the nucleus. So as a result, it will gain a small size. Suppose if you come to this sodium atom, it contains 11 protons only. So the attraction given by this sodium is little bit lesser than the attraction given by this magnesium. As a result, it is not able to pull these electrons towards its nucleus side with greater force. As a result, what you will see? You will find the sodium atom little bit bigger. So, what I mean to say here is size of magnesium. This is magnesium. This is sodium. Size of magnesium is little bit less when compared with the size of this sodium. So as a result, you can accumulate more number of magnesium metals in the given space. Suppose if I have given you a small space and I gave sodium atoms and magnesium atoms and I asked you to fill this gap with these sodium atoms, then since the size of this sodium atom is bigger than the size of this magnesium atom, less number of sodium atoms can be filled in this gap when compared with the magnesium. Let me take an arbitrary number to explain you clearly. You are able to fill with the 100 atoms of this sodium. Let us consider like this. At the same time, if you are going to fill it with magnesium atoms, you can nearly fill 120 atoms. So what I mean to say here is the density of magnesium. You know that density is equal to mass by volume. So within the provided volume, you can increase number of atoms if you take magnesium. So as a result, a small space will contain more Mg atoms. If it contains more magnesium atoms, you will get more number of electrons. In such a manner also, the charge of this electron cloud is more. So simply what we can say about this metallic bond? Metallic bond is nothing but an attraction between negatively charged electron cloud and positively charged metal ions. So it is nothing but an attraction between negatively charged electron cloud and positively charged metal ions. Did you understand it? Let me take a simple example to explain it more clearly.